Hello, number ones, and welcome to Metatron's Academy. Speaking begins where solo study ends. Or at least so they tell us as the title or header of this article, and I already disagree. Because as the madman that I am, a lot of the practice that I've done over the years, of course, involved engaging with natives, and I've done it. It's a lovely aspect of language learning, in fact, one of my favorite things. But then again, I'm not even sure that we could quantify. If we were to literally calculate the number of hours that I've spoken by myself, to myself, in my target languages, it would guarantee a ticket to the nearest asylum. So, for me, I did a lot of speaking during my solo studies. So, Victoria PhD, Victoria Verde, what are you on about? I have a PhD in applied linguistics. Already we've got the fallacy of authority. Come on. I have a PhD in applied linguistics and 3 certificates that say I'm qualified to teach languages. In every article I publish to every student in my classroom, I preach the same thing. Preach it. You learn to speak a language by speaking it with other people. My whole career stands on that one sentence. I mean, sure, eventually you do have to speak to other people. Although then again, I mean, I don't know, in 2026, we still have the option. In 2036, is it going to be just AI? You're going to be like you human? Really? Man, I haven't met a human in 10 years. I hope not. Man, that's dystopic. Anyways, for years in my own learning, I did the exact opposite. Did you? You spoke to the wall, did you? I taught myself English at 16 alone with books, and it worked, so I never stopped. It worked? Okay, this is a little bit all over the place, Miss PhD, because I'm a little confused. Books were safe, a grammar table never raised an eyebrow when I fumbled a verb. To be honest, I mean, do people raise eyebrows? I mean, it's kind of funny sometimes when I mess up a verb, like the paradigm, and my wife laughs. It's funny. I think it's funny, or she thinks it's funny more than me, in fact. Sometimes I may get a little offended, depending, but generally speaking. Okay. A word list never side a switch. Okay, we got it. So I hit them, blah, blah, blah. Yes, so I told myself I was laying a foundation, that once the grammar was firm and the vocabulary deep, I would finally speak to a real person. Well, of course, this is bad. So why are you saying it worked? Until then, why invite the heat in my cheeks, the mumbling, the small death of being misunderstood? The excuse held until a train station situation in Gothenburg, Sweden. Wow. I had taught myself Swedish back in Poland. Man, what a combination. Without any classroom courses or teachers. Less than a year later, I won a scholarship from the Swedish Institute, which took me to Gothenburg for a full summer course at a boarding school. I stepped up to the ticket counter short of every word. I said my line. The man looked at me for one slow second and answered in English. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's not the nicest experience, is it? My heart sank. Maybe he misheard me. Maybe my sentence was incomprehensible. It made no difference. My patient, solitary work suddenly lost meaning. And one sentence to one stranger slid straight to the floor between us. So I think here there is obviously a personality problem, meaning that there are plenty of people that are inward, insecure. And then, confidence helps a lot in language learning, but you boost confidence through experience. So if you don't practice direct experience, then of course you're never going to gain that confidence. You're always going to be scared. But then again, outward people usually have an easier time. This is a fact. But if you are an inward person, it doesn't mean that you can't learn it. It's just you have to go step by step so that you build that confidence first with easier things. I think the mistake here was that she went on for something a little harder as a first time. On paper, my Swedish shone. In the one place it was built for, it was useless. Now, when I feel the old tug to bury myself in the book and put speaking off a little longer, I stop. I still love the books. I read them away every day, but I no longer let them stand in guard in front of my mouth, and that's fine. It's a good message. I speak from the first day and lay the foundation alongside the way I should have all along. And I agree about the speaking from the first day. It's just that oftentimes we are like, well, it's easier said than done. I don't know anyone from Zimbabwe, or whatever language you're trying to pick up. I don't know anyone from Indonesia. What am I going to do? And so in that case, speak to yourself in the early stages. Don't try to, it shouldn't be generative too much, because you might fossilize wrong things and say things that are incorrect. Instead, you should try to memorize sentences and structures that are already already pre-built. Then after you've done that in the very early stages and you start going towards the lower intermediate, then you can start doing generative exercises when you speak to yourself. But then again, I learned it too late, and you don't have to. Great. The world is not built of missing words. You already understand far more than you can say. That depends on the person. What you lack is a person. We learn a language to reach other people. Okay, yeah, the message is fine. My crutch was a book. Yours might be an app or one of the AI tutors that promise to chat with you at any hour and never run out of patience. Yeah, they help more than I once expected with drilling words, catching slips, and keeping you company between lessons. True. Use them. Just do not mistake them for the thing itself. That's fine. No screen has ever grown a face with human thinking, feelings, and emotions, and the part that turns what you know into speech still needs a human on the other side. So let me do 3 things. All right. First, show you why speaking. Okay, so she's gonna go. Input alone gets you stuck. That's excellent. Yeah, don't do the input alone thing. It's nonsense. For a long time, the field believed in Krashen. Soak up enough input, enough listening and reading, and speech would bloom on its own. I really have to make that video about Krashen because I don't think anyone freaking understands what the guy meant. I still disagree with his techniques, and he put too much emphasis on input, but I think people misrepresent it all the time. I'll do it, guys. I'll do it. Speaking in this, the engine, what cracks the concrete is your own voice. That's true. You still do need to do some input, though. That's not... a person fits the lesson to you. A person aims for the difficulty. Okay, that's fine. But usually it's better with people that are trained to do so. But then again, your brain needs a human in the room. Not always. As I say, I disagree with this. You can speak on... If you are confident and you're just trying with the structures and the words, you know they're correct. Because you learned them from a lesson on YouTube, for instance. You know, okay, these are the words, they're correct. I just can't commit them to memory. I just keep forgetting them. Speak out loud in the freaking room on your own, like I'm doing now, by the way, to a freaking camera. There's no brain. I think this counts as practice of English, though, if you know what I mean. It's okay. The gap between knowing and saying... Okay, and colleagues found that the willingness to communicate is its own trait. Sure. Almost unhooked from how much you actually know. Yeah, it's a personality thing, and at the end of the day, it's a mental problem. Which is why a learner who is fluent on paper can still seize up. Yes. Sure. And the language is for people anyway. Under all of it sits one plain truth. Cook argued the goal was never to counterfeit a native speaker. An ideal recent work calls close to a fairy tale, but to become a real user of the language, someone who reaches other people with it. Cook 1999. Yes, the point is human, so the method has to be human too. It's fine. I think the only thing I kind of disagree is, for people told me what no book could. That's fine for me as a position. Man, it's a long one. Okay, let me read the ending. So I listened. That is most... Okay, so she's also the one who most tenderly built my grammar and vocabulary, jotting down every word I reached for and missed out, saying it, setting it as homework, so the list sat waiting whenever I revised at home or in the last few minutes before her face appeared on the screen. So this is a person she practiced with. Well, great. I mean, it's fine. But then again, as I say, speak on your own. Have someone think either... Like, if you do it in Latin, they might think you're trying to summon the devil. But if you do it in any other language, they'll just think you're crazy. And that's fine, because after a year or two, you'll be fluent and they will not. So, it is what it is. Thank you for watching. Have a good one. If you're enjoying this video so far, please take a moment to check out my Patreon page. With as little as a $5 support, you can help us ensure that we can continue to produce high quality and high researched content. And at the same time, you get access to polls, extra videos, unlisted streams, and much more. Thank you so much.